2020 will undoubtedly be remembered as a year of unprecedented challenges and change for individuals and businesses across the sectors. This is Housing Development, the only TV program that gives you all the information on housing. I am Fleur Arnie, your housing diva. Let's see the trending news in the sector.
Hopes of lower construction costs by prospective homeowners may have been dashed, going by fresh increase in the price of cement and related products. The increase has already triggered a ripple effect in the open markets, where prices have gone up by as much as 60% in recent weeks. The rise in prices have also worsened construction costs in the sector, reeling under pressure from disruptive policies and ineffective housing supply. Dealers blame scarcity on transportation and exports, while manufacturers say it's gas pricing and haulage costs. For instance, the price of a 50-kilogram bag now goes for 3,600 in Lagos and Cross River states, 4,000 naira in Enugu and Imo states. River State holds 4,300, Abuja 3,200, Kano and Oyo states 3,500. Stakeholders in the built industry has appealed to the federal government to ease the challenges, as the price increase in the inputs to construction without corresponding increase in citizens' purchasing power would reduce construction activities meant to rejuvenate the economy. Mortgage operators under the aegis of the Mortgage Banking Association of Nigeria have made the call in a 7-page communique after its chief executive officer's retreat in Lagos. The association plans to engage the Central Bank of Nigeria on specific modalities required to facilitate policy implementation, monitoring, and impact assessment. The annual retreat saw the MBN urge the CBN, as part of the COVID-19 palliatives and intervention, to provide a residual equity capital of 75% that would complement the existing share capital of 25% already subscribed by the Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company for immediate takeoff of Nigeria Mortgage Guarantee Company PLC due to its envisaged impact on the mortgage banking in the country. The operators have appealed for regulatory-induced fiscal and monetary measures that will stimulate the subsector towards sustainable development. The Lagos State government has urged members of the public to be wary of allottees of state housing estates who engage in the indiscriminate transfer or sale of allocated homes without valid certification. The Commissioner for Housing, Moruf Akinderu Fatai, gave the warning while reviewing the activities of the ministry, stressing that the state was aware that some allottees engaged in the transfer of ownership of housing units without proper documentation. He noted that this often led to the loss of revenue to the state, as well as incomplete data of homeowners under the state housing scheme, and that in some cases, members of the public fall victims of swindlers who make people pay even above government rates for fake allocations. The Commissioner therefore advised members of the public to always verify the status of any state housing estates with the Ministry of Housing at the State Secretariat before finalizing any transaction. And the Housing Development Advocacy Network has called for more investments in the real estate and mortgage sectors in the country. The Executive Director, HDAN Festus Adebayo, who made a call in his end-of-the-year message on Sunday in Abuja, also called on stakeholders not to relent in their strive towards the conducive housing and construction industry in 2021. Adebayo stressed the need for government to develop the political will to make the housing sector grow better, increase sales, create access to land, and solve the challenges of infrastructure. He also appealed to the governments in all states to do more in the area of foreclosure law and access to land for developers, and stressed that governors should show more interest in home ownership for their workers and citizens. He noted that HDAN will continue to champion the advocacy for affordable housing by partnering stakeholders in various areas that can bring a desired housing and mortgage available to all.
It's jingle belling and everyone telling you'll be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Festive Media Group, organizers of Abuja International Housing Show and owners of Housing Development Program on AIT and TVC, wishes to appreciate all our partners who without them we wouldn't have recorded a successful year.
All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright.
We say thank you for your unending support this year. We promise to do more, and we count on your continued support.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad.
Make you dey wash your hands, make you dey wear your mask, make you dey sanitize, oh, make we first stay alive. No huggy, no shaky.
Oga Solo, why you go come visit me, come wear face mask on your chin? She not like that, they make you dey wear am. Oh yeah, wear face mask very well before you enter my house. And give me your hand, make I give you hand sanitizer. No vessel, I go put am well now. My country people, Ndinkemo, Enyitemi, make una come hear the better news wa bring come. She una know say COVID-19 still dey everywhere oh. That is to say, when you want jolly with your family and your friends for this kind of ogbonge period, make you remember say you go wash your hand very well with soap and water and sanitize your hand anywhere you dey go. Make you no huggy, no shaky. Wear your face mask properly anywhere where you dey go. Clean your environment and maintain your personal hygiene. Remember say, if you do your part and I do my own, that is to say, we all go overcome this pandemic. Now the University of Lagos Center for Housing and Sustainable Development, you know this story where the Arts and Humanities Research Council UK they back up.
For more housing, finance and construction news, do well to visit www.africanhousingnews.com. The year 2020 has seen a few defining moments, and the year has seen its first share of major events in the housing sector. Now here is a throwback of major events that we had on the program. Take a look.
Housing is one of the traditional areas of concern for public health, though it has been relatively neglected over recent decades. Housing, however, is important for many aspects of healthy living and well-being. The home is important for psychosocial reasons as well as its protection against the elements, but it can also be the source of a wide range of hazards, physical, chemical, biological. The relationship between housing and health is multifaceted. A healthy home needs to have sound structure, to be free of hazards, to provide adequate facilities for sleeping, personal hygiene, the preparation and storage of food, to be an environment for comfortable relaxation, for privacy and quiet, and to provide the facility for social exchange with friends, family, and others. The local environment is also important in determining such factors as fear of crime, access to local services and facilities, and in promoting social interaction. How does housing affect health? Healthy homes promote good physical and mental health.
The issue of unoccupied houses should be giving government a very serious concern. We must firstly ask ourselves, why are we having unoccupied, empty, vacant houses? I would like to categorize it into two. The first category has to do with those properties acquired with our Commonwealth. That some politicians, some fraudulent top civil servants, fraudulent businessmen are cornered. When you go to Maitama, in Abuja especially, you go to Gusape, you go to Asokoro, you go to any of those city centers, we see some of those houses there. Some have been there as far back as 2015. We discovered that nobody had been living there. In the recent times, some of them we even put a signboard for sale. Some we put for lease. But when you go and make inquiry, the kind of figure they will call for you, you will know that they are only trying to pretend, creating an impression that they want to sell the property or they want to rent it out. But they know themselves that they don't want to sell it out. They are product of money laundering. And we cannot continue to fold our arms and be talking of 20 million housing deficit when there are many houses unoccupied in the city.
The relocation of the seats of the federal government from Lagos to Abuja in 1991 left scores of properties abandoned in the mega city. Most of the federal government buildings that were vibrant in the 1980s and 1990s declined due to the relocation. For years, many properties belonging to the federal government have been suffering from either outright abandonment or underutilization, thereby constituting danger to lives and property. Such abandoned buildings that cost billions of naira of public fund are scattered all over Lagos and have either been taken over by rodents, reptiles, and similar animals, or occupied by miscreants and other criminals. For example, the building that housed the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing was abandoned, later handed over to the National Dental Council. The Federal Secretariat Complex Ikoyi, built by the Federal Military Government of General Yakubu Gowon in 1975. The Independence Building, which housed the Ministry of Defense. The Glass House, which housed the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of Education Building, the National Assembly Complex, and the 37-story Nitel House. Even the National Stadium Surulere is also facing abandonment. With these statistics, experts say these buildings have potential of cutting the 3 million housing deficit in Lagos down by 10% if structured and reconstructed properly.
On behalf of myself, the Board of Trustees, and members of the ESCO, Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, I wish to congratulate and say Happy New Year to all our esteemed members and customers, to all our stakeholders in the housing industry. We wish you a very prosperous and happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time.
The program is Housing Development. Our advocacy on this program is to ensure that all Nigerians have access to decent, safe and affordable housing, most especially the low-income earners. As our culture is on this program, we visit different locations each week to seek the view and opinions of everyday Nigerians on the streets. Now here's a look at some of the topics that we showcase on Voices on the Streets.
There's a slight difference between a house and a home. A home is like a happy home, a place of luxury, a place of an abode, a place where you feel real comfortable like a human being. That's a home. A home is a place where you can say, okay, I'm going home. Do you understand? Then a house is the type I live in. You know, wait for your neighbor to bath before you come out and enter, you bath. But all the same, there's a bed inside there, so you can call it a house.
Last year, Federal Mortgage Bank approved 15 million naira for me. I bought the house for 17.5 million at roofing level. Everything to finish it will get to like 30 million. How can I get 30 million? And then I was given 15 years to pay. In fact, if you don't steal, how else would you get money?
Because of the nature of what I do, I don't have such plan.
Upon all the arrangements that the federal government has been putting in place, you know, they are only thinking about civil servants. They don't think about the private sector. People who are also legitimate and bona fide Nigerians, you know. who should benefit from government policies. Now, by the time you approach them, you approach the mortgage institution in Nigeria, you are not a civil servant, what they will be asking of you will be too much of you for you to provide.
Mortgage of a thing. This is my first time of hearing it.
The word mortgage, I think I got introduced to it in movie settings. It has some legal backing to it though. I think you more like offer up your building, your house, for in exchange for probably money, most likely money. And if you don't meet up with the agreement, you get your home taken away from you or your building taken away from you. So that's why I say as mortgage.
The word mortgage is actually a financial institution or a cooperative society which help in financing projects and having houses of your own.
I would rather buy the house because there's a structure already of which with time I can actually build it to my taste, or if I like I can even leave it like that because it's less stressed for me.
I prefer to buy a house because there are some proceedings you need to undergo when you are building a house. So when you're buying a house, all those things, you will not face it.
Keep a date with Housing Development Program every week on TVC. Housing Development is the first and pioneer housing program in Nigeria and by extension Africa. It remains the authentic voice of the Nigerian housing and construction industry. Housing Development is the only credible and specialized platform for seasoned professionals in the build industry, where quality and credible players in the real estate sector meet to interact, showcase, and analyze government policies. It is no doubt that hundreds of thousands of prospective Nigerians who desire to own their personal properties have done so through the assistance of Housing Development Program in the last 10 years. If you are a stakeholder in the build industry, here is where you must be. We are authentic, credible, and supported by all the leading professionals in the build industry. Housing Development on TVC.
Amid all the uncertainty the year 2020 brought, it is undeniable that it has impacted the housing sector positively and negatively too. Now here is a throwback of two major events that shaped the housing sector. Happy viewing.
One of the greatest solutions to rural-urban migration is the ability to establish a strong link between agriculture and housing. A properly developed agricultural system like we are driven to do will be an incentive for many to live close to where they farm. By providing our farmers across the country with affordable housing, we will have succeeded in creating a great incentive in agriculture.
We started with a phase for our social housing models in Abeokuta. And to the glory of God, we delivered the first set, 130 units, to mark our 1 year in office on May 29. These units were made up of 2-bedroom expandable units and 3 bedrooms. To the glory of, for 130 units developed, we have sufficient for over 700. And this creates a gap and to show that, yes, the people of Ogun State actually are in support of our programs and they're happy with what we're doing.
In Lagos, since the inception of this administration, we have put a lot of effort in making sure that we continue to bring in more people into the housing ladder. What we are trying to do here in Lagos is to make sure that you don't have to have all the money in place before you get your housing unit. That's why I said bringing in more people into the housing ladder. Our rent-to-home policy is a situation where you are expected to put in 5% of the cost of the house. That is, and we now do the calculation of that 3.3% of your salary, and you expect to pay over the next 10 years.
Where there is no regulation, anything goes. No serious investor will invest in an unregulated market. No serious investor will come in when you can't tell developers from cowboys, when you cannot tell scammers from licensed operators. So the first thing I would like to recommend is that if you are going to do 300,000 homes, just do the math. Let's even assume that we are delivering at an average of 5 million naira per unit. That's a lot of money coming into the system with potential for employment. So really, we want to be sure that this money does not end up in the hands of scammers.
The world is now an opportunity to interface with ourselves and exchange ideas and best practices despite this pandemic. What this has taught us is to always continue to think out of the box and leverage more on technology to drive the innovations and development in the housing finance construction. At FMBN, we are trying as much as possible to show that our strategic initiatives to expand our coverage to over 30 million within the next 5 years. We are ensuring that our strategic focus has enabled us to do that.
The Nigerian Housing Awards has become synonymous with excellence. May I therefore join other Nigerians in appreciating these awards.
We create a vibrant environment for healthy competitions among stakeholders. At the end of the day, the goal is to encourage and support the production of mass affordable housing for Nigerians who need them the most.
The categories and the winners include, for individuals, Female CEO of Real Estate Company of the Year, Sadiya Aminu; Real Estate Person of the Year, Mustafa Njie; Housing Finance Person of the Year, Architect Ahmed Dangiwa; the Best Governor in Affordable Housing Delivery, Prince Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State; Lifetime Achievement Award, Architect Nyai Tok Ezekiel; Ali Magashi; Professor Donladi Slim Matawal. Special recognition in real estate and innovation, Adebola Shaidu; Umar Abdullahi; CEO Male Real Estate Development Company of the Year, Sam Ugri; Affordable Housing Promoter of the Year, Reverend Surveyor Gochukwu Chime; Housing Industry Professional Body President of the Year, Builder Kunle Awobudu.
Stop calling me a prisoner.
President Media Group, organizers of Abuja International Housing Show and owners of Housing Development Program on AIT and TVC, wishes to appreciate all our partners who without them, we wouldn't have recorded a successful year.
All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to save Rudolph with your nose so bright.
We say thank you for your unending support this year. We promise to do more, and we count on your continued support.
Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad.
That is it on today's edition of the program. A big thanks to all Housing Development Media crew. Thanks for making this program possible each week. I'm my executive producer. I appreciate you. And to all my lovely viewers, thanks a lot. Thanks for keeping a date with me each week. Let's stay safe as we unwind and merry this season. God bless Nigeria. I remain Flora Ani, your housing diva.